In this episode, join me on my travels to explore some of the must-see spots on the east coast of Australia. On our trip to Australia, we flew all the way from Montreal to Vancouver and then onward to Sydney for a total of 19 hours flying time. On this 3-week journey, we spent our first week in Sydney, then flew north to Queensland and road tripped all the way back down, stopping in key locations and experiencing some unusual adventures. Stay tuned, as at the end of this video, I'll share my number one love and number one hate of Australia. If you've been to Australia, please let us know which parts of the country you visited and write up any additional info or suggestions in the comments below. Okay, let's go. First stop, Sydney. Sydney is the largest and most populous city in Australia, located on the southeastern coast of the country. Sydney surrounds one of the world's most beautiful natural harbours, Sydney Harbour. The city is home to several iconic landmarks, including the Sydney Opera House, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which offers breathtaking views of the city and the harbour. And yes, those are people, and you can actually take an excursion to climb the bridge. The city has an extensive public transportation system, including buses, trains, ferries, and trams. We were fortunate to find an apartment on Airbnb that was conveniently located right by a tram stop. Our studio apartment was lovely and located within walking distance of many attractions. One interesting feature we noticed was that power sockets in Australia have switches to turn them on and off. First impression, I was very impressed at how clean and organized the city is. We headed first to the area known as Circular Quay, which is where the ferries depart from. There are loads of shops and eateries, and of course, the world-famous Sydney Opera House. The Opera House has a distinctive and groundbreaking design featuring a series of white sail-like shell structures that appear to rise out of the water. Construction took over a decade to complete, and it was finally opened in 1973. The Sydney Opera House serves as a major performing arts venue, hosting a wide range of performances, including opera, ballet, theater, and concerts. Visitors can take guided tours of the building to learn about its history and architecture. Circular Quay is the perfect place to spend an afternoon taking in the harbour views and stopping for a drink or a bite by the water. Sydney offers a diverse culinary scene with a wide range of international cuisine. Chat Thai was definitely a great spot for Thai food, and they have a few locations around town. Seafood is also popular in Sydney thanks to its coastal location. So the following day, we took a train ride to the Sydney Fish Market, where you can find some pretty unique seafood options not available anywhere else in the world. Speaking of food, did you know that in Australia, Burger King is called Hungry Jack's, as someone had already trademarked the name Burger King for another chain of restaurants? Another must-see spot in Sydney was the Royal Botanic Garden, also located near Circular Quay. The garden spans 74 acres, and we spent a half day exploring its various areas. It's home to a wide variety of plants, including native Australian flora, exotic species, and a significant collection of tropical and subtropical plants. It is dedicated to preserving and showcasing native Australian plants. I have literally never seen such a diverse collection of plants anywhere else. The garden's location on the shores of Sydney Harbour provides visitors with stunning views of the Sydney Opera House, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and the city skyline. Entry is free, and they're open daily from 7 a.m. to sunset. Now, no visit to Sydney would be complete without spending at least a day at the world-famous Bondi Beach. Hi everybody, we are on the ferry on the way to Rose Bay. So we're going to get off at Rose Bay and head to Bondi Beach for a half day at the beach. The ferries here are very efficient, and we got a nice view again of the Opera House. Bondi Beach is renowned for its beautiful crescent-shaped shoreline and is a hot spot for surfers. It offers excellent waves for both beginners and experienced surfers. While sharks do inhabit the waters in this area, many safety measures are in place to help minimize the risk of shark encounters. These measures can include shark nets, lifeguards who monitor the waters, and beach closures if a shark is spotted in the vicinity. The Bondi Icebergs Club. This iconic oceanfront swimming club boasts a stunning ocean pool that merges with the sea, offering a unique swimming experience. At the end of our beach day, we went for a coastal hike. The Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk is a scenic walking trail that stretches along the coastline, providing breathtaking views of the ocean and cliffs. It's a popular route for both locals and tourists and features several beaches, parks, and ocean pools along the way. We walked from Bondi to Bronte Beach, which took us a little over an hour, not so much due to the distance, but more because of frequent stops to take in the scenery. You really can't get a bad picture here. Now, if you're liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out with the channel. For our last few days in Sydney, we decided to rent a car to explore a portion of what is called the Grand Pacific Drive, which is a 140-kilometer scenic coastal drive on the stunning south coast of Australia. We are setting off for our first day trip driving experience in Australia.
Same car.
Same car, Honda CR-V.
As we have back home, just exact opposite.
Exact opposite. Very weird to be sitting on the left and there's no steering wheel over here. So, reminder, we drive on the left side of the road. One of the main stops of this drive was the Sea Cliff Bridge, a cantilevered bridge that extends out over the sea, hugging the cliffside. The bridge provides an excellent vantage point to admire the rugged cliffs, pristine beaches, and the expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Due to rip currents and shark-infested waters, ocean pools such as this were built across the country to provide bathers with a safe and relaxing experience. On our last day in Sydney, we drove approximately 100 kilometers to the Scenic World, which offers a range of activities designed to showcase the natural beauty of the Blue Mountains. These include the Scenic Skyway, a cable car that glides across the valley, providing breathtaking views of the rainforest below, and the Scenic Railway, known as the steepest passenger railway in the world, which descends into the Jameson Valley through a sandstone tunnel and lush rainforest. From the viewpoint at the top, you get a perfect view of the Three Sisters rock formation and the rainforest below. Why are these called the Blue Mountains, you may ask? Well, very simply due to the bluish haze that often envelops the area. This blue haze is caused by the abundant eucalyptus trees in the area that release their oil into the atmosphere. For the second part of our trip, we took a 2.5-hour flight from Sydney to the Whitsunday coast. Australia looks small on a world map, but it is just as big as the United States, so the distances can be deceiving. We spent a day in Airlie Beach, which serves as a departure point for people wanting to explore the Whitsunday Islands and the Great Barrier Reef. It's very tropical and our accommodations were overlooking the ocean side. Airlie Beach also has a beautiful swimming lagoon. The next day, we boarded the Alexander Stewart sailboat, which is the largest handcrafted timber boat in the Southern Hemisphere. Now, I'm not much of a sailor nor a snorkeler, but it was really a great first-time sailing experience. The Alexander Stewart offers an overnight sailing trip across the Whitsunday Islands with stops for snorkeling and my bucket list stop at the magical Whitehaven Beach. Whitehaven Beach is situated on Whitsunday Island, the largest island in the Whitsunday group, which is part of the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. It's renowned for its pristine beauty and is often considered one of the world's most beautiful and unspoiled beaches. The beach is famous for its pure white silica sand, which gives it a unique and incredibly beautiful appearance. The sand is so fine that it's often compared to powdered sugar. Now, as beautiful as the water is, wearing a stinger suit is highly recommended to prevent dangerous and sometimes deadly jellyfish stings. One of the most famous features of Whitehaven Beach is the hill Inlet, where the tide shifts the sand and water, creating a stunning swirling pattern that changes with the tides. The best time to visit Whitehaven Beach is during the Australian summer, which is November to March. This was a major wow moment for us. It just felt like being in a dream. Time for the big East Coast drive. Our first stop down the coast was at the Tropic of Capricorn marker, where the weather changes from tropical to more temperate. This area was also a landing point for Captain Cook, who mapped the eastern coast of Australia in the year 1770. Our next stop was about a 5-hour drive down to Hervey Bay. Along the way, we started seeing kangaroo signs along the road and actually had a surprise encounter with a family of wild kangaroos. From Hervey Bay, we boarded a ferry for our excursion to Fraser Island. Fraser Island is a UNESCO World Heritage listed island located off the southeastern coast of Queensland, Australia. It's the largest sand island in the world, and its sandy tracks are ideal for bumpy four-wheel drive adventures, which was exactly what we had.
4x4 tour. Carrying food very bumpy on Fraser Island.
Fraser Island is home to a wide variety of wildlife, including dingoes, which are among the purest dingoes in eastern Australia. It's important to respect the guidelines and regulations in place to protect both the dingoes and the people who visit Fraser Island. Interactions with dingoes should be approached with caution, and it's essential to avoid feeding them, as this can alter their behavior and lead to conflicts. They do roam freely on the island, which is why all tours drive visitors safely via four-wheel drive trucks along the 75-mile beach with stops along the way. The rusting hulk of the SS Mohino, a shipwrecked ocean liner, is a famous attraction on Fraser Island. Our second stop was for a short trek up to Indian Head, where you get a panoramic view of the coastline. In addition to stunning views, we also spotted sharks and stingrays in the surrounding waters of the Pacific. Yep. Shark in the water. Two stingrays, 3 stingrays. Last stop of the day was beach time at Lake Mackenzie, also known as Burangura. Hi everyone, we're here on Fraser Island. It's probably the most popular tourist attraction on the east coast of Australia, and there's a reason why. In addition to the 75-mile beach, which we drove down with our very experienced driver in a four-wheel drive Sun Rover truck, here you have the absolutely stunning Lake Mackenzie. This is totally a freshwater lake, no salt water here, and it's completely made from rainwater. It's absolutely stunning with the fresh water, no jellyfish, stingrays, or any deadly creatures in this water. You can just swim, it's warm, you can open your eyes underwater because it's not salty. And it's just beautiful, and it has the same white silica sand as Whitehaven Beach. So the sand is just so soft and it doesn't get hot. So it's really comfortable. And yeah, it's just a great place to be. Fraser Island, Lake Mackenzie. It may look like a tropical beach, but Lake Mackenzie is actually a freshwater lake, and its crystal clear blue waters are renowned for their purity. The lake is surrounded by a unique and striking landscape featuring pure white sands and towering sand dunes. The sand around the lake is composed of pure white and fine silica, which acts as a natural filter, keeping the water incredibly clear and creating a stunning contrast. What a day! I'll post the link for this Fraser Island excursion in the description below so you can check it out. It's definitely a must-do in Australia. For our next stop, we drove 2 hours south to the fashionable beach town of Noosa Heads. The trees and plant life were just gorgeous. Noosa Heads is also a food lover's paradise, and we enjoyed a delicious dinner at Miss Moneypenny's, followed by an evening walk along the beach and Main Street. The following morning, we drove 1 hour south to another of my bucket list items, Australia Zoo. As some of you may have, I grew up watching Steve Irwin, the famous wildlife enthusiast and conservationist, capturing and saving crocodiles. The zoo is often referred to as the home of the crocodile hunter in honor of Steve Irwin's television persona. The zoo is committed to wildlife conservation and actively participates in breeding programs for endangered species, especially crocodiles. We booked the add-on option of visiting the wildlife hospital, and if this is of interest to you, it must be booked ahead of time as spaces are limited. The facilities of the animal hospital were so well equipped and the staff was highly trained and informative. During our visit, they were treating an injured koala and nursing an injured sea turtle back to health in their recovery center. The zoo provides a memorable and interactive experience for visitors, including opportunities for close encounters with animals.
Oh my god, he's so cute. They don't bite?
Nah, ours are friendly. So in the wild they do, but yeah.
Little sharp claws there.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic features of Australia's zoo is its crocodile shows in the Crocoseum.
I just want to let you guys know a huge thank you, because you're coming in, when you bought your ticket, part of that money is going to help wildlife. And when you, absolutely, thank you to all you guys. You are awesome. And then when you get something to eat, part of that money is going to help wildlife. And then when you buy a souvenir in the shop, oh my gosh, part of that money is going to help wildlife. So thank you so much. All of our zoo funds are reinvested into conservation.
You're making a fish, you get in around about knee-deep water. The crazy thing is, there's no way of knowing where the crocodile is. So the key is, stay out of the water and you'll never ever have a problem with a crocodile.
Right here. Oh, look at the food, dude. Look at the food.
Oh,
That's a great food. What a beauty. Monty, I love you so much.
no, you just want big, you want to be big today.
Bunty, I love you so much, and you are the sweetest, well, grumpiest balloon animal I've ever met. I love you. So crocodiles are amazing. Not only can they strike from the water's edge, they can also come vertically out of the water, nearly their entire body length. This enables them to grab a fruit bat on the wing, to pluck a duck mid-flight, and he always likes to check the ramp first to see if I'm going to fall onto his head. Let's hope not, buddy. Whoa! Well done, Monty! I'm so proud of you. Good work. Thanks for
Best part of the day, I finally got to pet a koala. Continuing our journey past Brisbane, we stopped to see the Chung Tian Buddhist temple. So this is Chung Tian Temple. It's a Chinese Buddhist temple, and it's just 25 kilometers south of Brisbane on our way to Byron Bay. So it's a great little place to stop. The weather's not super today, so we're gonna check out this temple. This temple features traditional Chinese architecture, stunning gardens, and intricate artwork. Visitors are welcome to explore the temple grounds, take part in meditation sessions, attend talks, and participate in various cultural and educational programs. We had some delicious tea. Our next stop was at the Beanley Rum Distillery, where we enjoyed a tasting and picked up a bottle of their traditional rum liqueur. We then continued along the Gold Coast and stopped for 2 nights in the town of Byron Bay. Its coastal location makes it a popular destination for beachgoers. The Cape Byron Lighthouse, perched on Cape Byron, is an iconic landmark.
So right behind me you have the Byron Bay Lighthouse. This is actually the most easterly point of Australia. And this lighthouse has a power of 2.2 million candles. Not sure how that compares to anything else, but it's pretty strong.
Visitors can reach the lighthouse by hiking the Cape Byron walking track. Like every other hiking experience in Australia, the coastal views were extraordinary. The following day, we spent some time at a well-known working farm simply called The Farm. The farm is committed to sustainable and ethical farming practices with a focus on providing locally sourced and fresh produce. Visitors can see a variety of farm animals, including cows, pigs, chickens, and more. The restaurant and shop on site, called Three Blue Ducks, offers real-deal farm-to-table dining, serving dishes made from the produce grown on the property.
So, how are you liking the farm so far?
Very good.
It's a farm in Byron Bay called The Farm.
Look at this bread.
That bread is good.
It's on your nose. Look at the eyes of the bread.
Yeah,
Most people don't know what it's bread.
very good sourdough bread. It's so good.
Our next destination down the coast was another 6-hour drive south to Port Stephens for some 4-wheel drive adventures among the Stockton sand dunes.
We had some trouble.
Why?
Well, I got stuck twice. So the fact that I got from point A to point B, as slow as it is, that's what it is.
Quite interesting to ride along this unique desert-like landscape while at the same time being very close to the ocean. It looks pretty badass and daredevilish in these pictures, but honestly, if I can do it, anyone can. Other fun activities you can do here are camel rides and sandboarding, of which we have no pictures as it was very physically exerting, but it looks like this. From Port Stephens, we went 1.5 hours inland to the Hunter Valley region for 2 days of wine and food tasting at the Two Fat Blokes Gourmet Tours and Kitchen. They offer a variety of tours. We took what they call the midweek package, which offered 2 nights accommodation, afternoon tea upon arrival, a full-day wine tour visiting 4 wineries, including a vineyard walk, and European continental breakfast on the day of departure. It was the perfect relaxing way to end our 3 weeks exploring this part of Australia. Okay, so as promised, my number one love and number one hate. Let's start with the hate so that we can end on a positive note. Most shops, malls, and restaurants in Australia close very early, with last seating in restaurants being around 7 p.m. There are some exceptions in big cities such as Sydney or Melbourne, but for the rest of the country, this is pretty much the norm. The main reason is due to labor laws, which make it extremely expensive to pay employees overtime or outside of standard hours. So if you're from parts of the world where people shop or eat later into the evening, or if you just like to have late dinners and do some evening shopping while on vacation, this is something to keep in mind. Now, my number one absolute love of Australia, other than the diversity of unique animals, is the coffee. Australians take their coffee seriously, and as an Italian, I can confirm that the coffee in Australia, in my opinion, is actually much better than the one in Italy. You can find a wide variety of coffee styles and preparations throughout the country. I found this chart to be very helpful. My personal favorite was the flat white. Now, if you're from Australia or you've been to Australia, which one is your favorite? I hope you enjoyed my review of this trip and that you get to visit Australia. We know we will definitely be going back. So to make sure you never miss out on new content, please subscribe to the channel. Are you subscribed? Do it now. This way, you're always ready to go.